future, where do you think we'll be in 5 or 10 years in this industry? How do you think it'll look?
Well, first of all, I think that the number of cocktail bars will definitely not increase in number as rapidly as it has done over the past 3 years. I think that there was a large pool of bartenders that were mature enough to open their own bars, and they've all done a really good job, I think. But now it's the next era of new bartenders coming. We will still be looking at the prohibition bars, tiki bars, and bars that are kind of specialized in a niche within making cocktails. But I think larger venues with cocktails incorporated into the whole atmosphere of the place.
You mentioned this new generation of bartenders. What do you see that they have of challenges to develop in this industry and take this industry to the next level that we're talking about today?
Well, first of all, I think that they have a different foundation in the whole industry. We had to we really had to do everything ourselves. We had to invent the whole cocktail scene. We had to go abroad to buy the spirits, bring it back home, and it would be a novelty in the bar. It's not like that anymore. Now I think they will come a longer way than we were, with less struggles, which means that they can actually focus on stuff that is not necessarily only about tasting cocktails, but also returning to the fact that it's more important atmosphere and guest awareness. Out of the 10 top cocktail bars in Copenhagen, they all make great cocktails, but it's all about the atmosphere, and the atmosphere that the bartender is able to convey towards the guest that makes the whole difference. So that would be something they would have to look upon, and then maybe think themselves as part of the scene and not necessarily as a star tender. Yeah. But I think the most important thing is probably the humbleness and just looking at, for what reason are you here? Is it because you want to open your own bar? As a full-time bartender, you probably have the ideas at some point you want to open your own bar, or work with someone that can actually facilitate that, so you'd be not necessarily owning your own bar, but kind of buying your way into having your own place. And that will not happen unless you are aware of other factors than just being good at balancing cocktails and come up with new ideas about cocktails. It's all about atmosphere. The environment that people drink their alcohol in is definitely more important. Back then, when we opened Guild, we had like 250,000 to do everything, buy the place and decorating and everything. And I think today you won't have a quality bar that will last for a longer period of time unless you spend around 1 million, I think. I think that the industry keeps evolving around interesting persons in the industry, and the most important thing is to accept the fact that we need to share our knowledge. Back then it was a different ballgame. We didn't want to share anything. We were kind of very tight with all the information we had, because you couldn't go to the internet. You couldn't go to the internet and find your information back then. Yes, you could, but you couldn't find it as easy as you will probably be able to find now. So I think sharing ideas and sharing friendships across not only the cocktail industry, but the whole bar industry and restaurant industry as well, is super important. And that's probably one of the reasons that I could never see myself doing anything else than the industry. It's always evolving, and we never get fed up with doing what we do. That's probably something that I want to give forward.